All right, here we go.
Star Wars Vision. Star Wars Vision, something completely new, something we never got before, is Star Wars and anime. It's like, how much more perfect can it get? I mean, I love anime, I'm a huge anime fan, and Star Wars, like, combining together, it's like, why they haven't done this before? Like, this is so perfect and so awesome, and I kind of feel like it comes like full circle with Star Wars, because if it wasn't for Kurosawa, I hope I'm saying the name right, for the movie Seven Samurai, we never would have gotten Star Wars. George Lucas would never made Star Wars, so kind of now them making Star Wars in anime style, in the same samurai style, it's kind of like, I feel like it's full circle, or like George Lucas say, it's like poetry, it rhymes. Now, this is the first season. I hope we get a second season because I'm very excited, but I'm gonna talk through this episode by episode, and it will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. You will definitely enjoy it, definitely like it. First episode we got is the Duel. Now, this episode was just, before like fan out over every episode, I must really say, like, the artistic style and the visual of this first episode is just like, I think, like the biggest love letter and tribute to George Lucas and to Akira Kurosawa of the movie Seven Samurai. It's in black and white, and only like the lasers or the lightsabers are in color, which is looks so beautiful. It's such a cool choice. But with the character we have Master Ronin and his droid on its way crossing a village, and then we have a Sith Lord with that epic goddamn lightsaber. I mean, like, with an umbrella lightsaber. I know damn well, like, as soon as she flew down, like, I just heard in my voice, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. But other than that, we get like the Sith, you know, going to this village, killing, basically destroying. We get some cool action with some bounty hunters. Like, I think we get Bosk, we get Sebulba driving one of the droids, attack droids, bounty droids, what I haven't seen before. And it's just like, in such a way, you even see the original 1977 Star Wars poster in the background, and Master Ronin is walking towards the Sith Lord. And I'm gonna just say, that fight is just so beautiful and so epic. The score, everything, the way it's built up, the characters are so interesting in the first episode. Like, you can make literally a whole show just from this first episode. Like, I want to see where he goes next, what he does next, because I can feel like Master Ronin is truly like the first great Jedi we got, like, in visual form. I mean, yes, we have Raven, and we're gonna get him now in the Republic game again, but like, I kind of feel like he's a great Jedi because he's not a Jedi, he's not completely a Sith Lord, because otherwise he wouldn't even care. He would just drink his tea and like bounce out of there. But like, I think we have this very great build up towards him, where he's just, you know, just like when she attacks him and he holds the lightsaber with his hands, I was like, ooh, that nigga cold, that nigga cold. And just, I think the coolest I think that's one of the coolest lightsaber, I don't know, pull out lightsaber, take it out, whatever you call it. It's just when he does the and slow motion and then just attacks and everything, and the fight just continues. It was just, the fight is so good and so awesome. It's not just cool action and visuals, it's just the storytelling, the way they fight. It's so clever, it's just imaginative, it's beautiful, the coloring, the characters, the voice acting is very great in this movie. So like, the first episode is so perfect. Like, it's just, it takes its time. You have interesting characters. There's not an annoying character inside. Every time you watch it, I was like invested every minute of it. And it was just an amazing episode, and definitely in my top 3. When it comes to The Duel, it was a masterpiece. It's a love letter to George Lucas and Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, and to Star Wars, clearly. And it was just a beautiful story with great characters. And I really hope we get to see more of that character, and keep it black and white, and just the lightsaber and lasers have colored. Or like the droid lights. That's a really cool artistic style also. Now, episode 2 is Tatooine Rhapsody. Now, this is something I thought we would never get ever in the Star Wars universe. It's rock music and Star Wars. Both things I both love. And it started out so great, you know, with this Jedi running from Order 66 and then meeting this hot fellow who's a bass player, and they start this rock band, and you have a young Boba Fett hunting them down for the hut, which is awesome cool. We get Temuera Morrison back as Boba Fett for this short little lines. But that was something that I felt was... It's also like missing in the Star Wars universe, because before that we only have like, you know, the band from the A New Hope, which is called Jizz, by the way, that music genre. I did not make this up, look it up. And if you're like, I mean, it's a great song that we all like that, but like I feel like this is Star Wars. You want to tell me this must be so much more different type of music, and to have like what I felt like was a little bit disappointing, that we got like this punk pop rock song, which I really wish would have gotten more like a metal song, like kind of like we have more in anime, like theme songs that are more metal based, and I really like to like get like real metal songs, like blasting, like just like really have that in it, or just like a really cool classic hard rock song. That would be great. But the song was good, it fit to the theme, and it was just an exciting and fun episode to see Jabba the Hutt vibing to rock music, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, because we do get a shot of his Obi-Wan's hut, and just like listening, and it's like I wish we got a one shot inside of Obi-Wan just in there sipping his tea and watching the rock show. I would be like, oh please. But I don't know if they had the rights. I don't think they have the rights to the character, or they have to be original all the way. It would be awesome if you see Obi-Wan sipping tea and just like listen to and just bobbing his head to some rock music. That would be cool. Like Tatooine episode is just like, it was a fun episode. It's almost one of the shortest, like 12 minutes only, but it was still, there were interesting characters, the motivations, like him running from Order 66 and joining the band, and like the characters are all very cool and interesting, and the world building you get different creatures, you get new droids, everything, different types of ships, even like the stage becomes a ship in it on itself. I mean, that's just cool. I really love that episode, and even I would like to see a show about a rock band Star Wars show. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? I wish the music would have been maybe a little bit better. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you know who I'm talking about, as the main character, did a good job in it, and I'm interested to see it. The Twins, episode 3. Now, The Twins is basically what if Luke and Leia would have turned to the dark side and taken over the galaxy, basically, which is such an epic choice. And this is also a different style of animation we get, which I also love, that we get every style of animation, not just one. It's like we have old animation, new animation, this animation, old school, different, every type of animation I think there is. They did every episode differently, which also kind of makes every episode unique. But like I said, this episode, you know, we have this what if Luke and Leia turned to the dark side, is why it's called The Twins, and it was a great episode. Those two characters who are born, you know, basically in the dark side, and their premise is, you know, to fulfill the dark side, take over the galaxy. But then you also have this hope, you know, this change, like where we have basically with Luke's character, which I know it's not his name, but it's basically Luke and Leia. And you know, them and that fight that they have between us, which I think would have been very awesome to see, basically. Like they should make a Luke and Leia, a Clone Wars style, turn to the dark side, like Clone Wars animation, do that, and have Luke and Leia, have Mark Hamill back as Luke Skywalker, he's an amazing voice actor, have Carrie Fisher's daughter be Leia or somebody else, and have a Clone Wars style what if Luke and Leia turn to the dark side. That would have been something epic. But the ones we got is very cool. We get a lot of cool, and I think General Grievous would especially love this episode, because we basically get a General Grievous with 4 lightsabers. This bitch just took out like a whole rack of Sith lightsabers, and I think we all agreed that General Grievous would get down on one knee and said, "Would you marry me?" But that was a very interesting episode, you know, of the choices between the two twins. The one that fully committed to the dark side, and the other one that says no, that turns to the light side and sees this is another way. We don't have to do this that has been told like our whole lives. And we get this very cool fight, but this is also like one of the episodes. From all the episodes, this is the one that I kind of have like the biggest problem with, is just because they keep it in like terms of reality. I know anime is always fantastical and all that shit, but like in Star Wars, like the they fight in outer space. That took me out of the fight because they don't have no protected gear out there. They fully no helmet, no nothing, breathing, fighting in space, floating too, and then they're back, and then they're back on a planet breathing normally. It was like kind of like that took me out of the fight. Like if they would fight inside, or they can fight outside, but like have some like protected battle gear or something for they can fight outside to make it more believable. I kind of like it took me out of the episode and kind of like killed my believability of it, because you have, I mean, the fight was awesome. I mean, the way that they changed the lightsabers, you can have it bigger, smaller, more powerful, and all that. That's something very cool. That's something I wish we would have seen in the sequels. Like, you know, I kind of feel like we got it in the prequels with Qui-Gon Jinn when you're trying to get to the blast door. I think that's probably something he did. They, you know, like increased the power of his lightsaber to get through. But it was still a great episode, except for like, you know, them fighting in space without any protective gear. Other than that, it was still a very great characters, interesting story, and we finally got a what if Luke and Leia turn to the dark side. Episode 4, The Village Bribe. The Village Bribe was also a very interesting episode. I really like. It was a very interesting, nice story of, you know, this bride. This one was very, I feel like, typical anime, traditional Japanese style, which I loved. I loved it. I love we get to see a new planet, different people, different like how they live with the environment. You really get to see that. And like they say, we are one with the planet, we are one with the forest, we are one with the air, everything. So we kind of see like the different way and a new planet and different thinking. We get this Jedi apprentice and this other guy, her friend, basically, was kind of like, I don't know, his other mentor, basically, you could say. The relationship between the two characters, where we get to see, you know, this Padawan who something tragic happened to her and now she has to face the past or learn how to continue living with it. It was really interesting episode. You have again like another bad guy harassing a village, which kind of happens a lot in it, but it's still interesting. It's still done differently. You see different ways the way they deal stuff with, like, no, they have to make a compromise, and no, some of them want to fight, but they don't want to fight because they're peaceful people. And then the Jedi steps in and then this young awesome Jedi just steps in and does this one quick move, and that was just so awesome and epic to have the bad guys. And the villain was extra interesting and entertaining too. I mean, it was interesting that they took old battle droids and just like reprogrammed them and used them for their own good. Like, that's such a great idea in it. The Village Bride was very interesting. I really liked this episode. It took its time with its story. It didn't rush into action. And the great thing is the story is so interesting and the characters and everything is so interesting. Like, I was just happy them walking around, getting to know the characters, and they really have good motivations. The characters, it's not just like some, oh no, because of this. Like, characters that you understand the motivations and why they do the things that they're doing. It was a very interesting episode. If they would make a full season out of that show, I would love to watch that. It's great characters, great world building, and I would love to see that. Episode 5. Now we have come to my favorite episode out of this whole show, because the 9th Jedi is the best episode. Oh my god, I feel like the 9th Jedi, that's what I think before I go on all that, let me just first talk about the episode. This episode is so amazing, it's so great. The visual, the storytelling, I think out of all of the storytellings, I think the first episode and this episode, and also still one more episode, I like to have the strongest story points. The amount of storytelling and characters and just everything they do is just perfection, and Star Wars to the purest, and story strong. I mean, the characters, the world building, the setup, the twists, the payoff, it hit every point for me. It started out so great with this young girl Kara, who's this fun, adventurous girl with her droid and her father, or I hope I say it wrong, it was her father, yeah right, her father or uncle, I don't remember that correctly, but like, this basically a person in her life have a lightsaber smith, which is so cool, and then she has to go to the temple because someone called Jedi and wants to rebuild the Jedi temple again and the Jedi Order. And when I say that it was so interesting, you have all these Jedi, all these different characters, and then what I also love what they tell is like when you turn on the lightsaber, the color of the lightsaber determines who you are, if you're Sith or Jedi. And before they set this up, and then we get this great twist where all of a sudden all the characters who you thought were Jedi are Sith. And I was like, oh shit, that's subversing expectations. That's amazing storytelling, and it was just epic, and I love that. That was such a great surprise with such an amazing build-up. I bet nobody saw that coming. That was really great, and we get to see an epic fight between some of the Jedi and the Sith, the acolyte of the Sith. That's so awesome. Like, I really want to see this. And other than that, we get to see Red Sith lightning, which was just epic. The fight, the storytelling, and this is what I mean when it comes like, this is what the sequels, in my opinion, should have been. This one episode, should have been like episode 7, how should have started. I mean, this should have been the sequels about. I mean, yes, overall, I'm gonna talk about overall, but like, just imagine switching, like Cara being Rey, the master that calls them being Luke Skywalker, and we add Leia in there, and then we have a Sith acolyte with like amazing Jedi, and that's the first, and that's how we start off episode 7. Now tell me, is there any better way to start off episode 7? I don't think so. We get an amazing fight with amazing characters, and it's just, we get an amazing chasing where she chases the lightsabers to the temple. And we get amazing comedy also, by the way. I mean, that old droid, when Cara pulls out the lightsaber and starts fighting, it's like, nice move. We just bust out laughing. Like, this episode is, in my opinion, the best episode out of the whole series. It has such a strong and interesting storyline, amazing characters, a great fight, great build-up, great twist. It was just perfection to every sort, in my opinion. It's just, I really, really wish we get to see like the continuation of them searching for their father and continuing the way that it's going. Now, episode 6, we have T0-B1. Now, this is an episode I also really loved, and I think this is also like an episode that really also gave us a lot of world building and new droids. I mean, the kind of thing that was kind of like lacking, like we didn't get too much of the new droids in the sequels, but like in this, like having an android basically become a Jedi, that's awesome. Like, how come nobody thought of that before? I mean, probably somebody thought of it, but they didn't make it. But like, it's such an interesting story of this young adventurous droid who dreams becomes a Jedi, and you have this professor who's on this planet to create life, plants and make it rain and everything, and then this boy with this dream of becoming a Jedi. But also, what I love about this character is not that he's just like some arrogant boy, oh no, I just want to do that and I don't care about anything else. Like, no, like, yes, he wants to be a Jedi. The thing that the professor does is very important, and he also likes it, and he continues his work once the professor dies in the Sith Lord, and we get an amazing fight. Like, also we get another epic fight with this Sith Lord coming down, and then he's just fighting the android, and it's just like, it's just fun. There was really such a great story and such a great character. I really wish we get to see more of this character in Star Wars, because he was just so awesome, and it was such a new creative way. We get to see new droids, different kind of droids, different type of world, different types of science in Star Wars, like making plans and all this. Not just, it was interesting, like we get more world building in Star Wars, and it was just a really great episode, and I really loved it, and I just really hope we get to see more of this. I know I'm saying a lot, this is a great episode, but really, like, the way they write such a good character writings you have in those episodes is just really, it really blew my mind. It really astonished me, because I was disappointed for a lot of time. Episode 7, The Elder. Now, this is an episode where I also think like this is a very story-strong episode, where you have the Elder, where you have these two Jedi going on this planet, and you have this mysterious Elder coming about, and the build-up is so great, to who this Elder is, or what's killed this one beast, and who this Elder is such a great mystery and build-up towards it, and you have this nice character, this Jedi Master and his Padawan, and I love the relationship between the Jedi and the Padawan. You really see, like, they really understand each other. The Padawan is also what I love. It's not some cocky, arrogant Padawan who just wants to fight in action. Like, no, I mean, yes, of course he wants it, but he's reasonable with it. The same with his Master. I love the back and forth that they have with each other, and the relationship that they have with each other, which is just done so great. It's just, this is what I like. And also I love when he says, just remember two things: your training and your kindness. It's just like, these people who made this, they get Star Wars so good. You can really tell the people who made this know Star Wars, love Star Wars, and understand the world that they got the job to play in. Like, they knew exactly what they did, and you really can tell, like, these people know exactly what they did, how to do it, and how to come up with great stories, great characters, all that. But like the Elder, when it comes to it, basically them fighting this old Sith, well, let me tell you something. That old dude should have been Snoke. For real, that old dude should have been Snoke. I mean, like, that dude was scary, he was mysterious, he was interesting, he was not like a Sith, and he said, I love the line that he says, like, the Sith were just trying to overthrow themselves, I'm done with that. It's basically the same shit with Snoke, but like, imagine having, instead of Snoke, a character, I love Andy Serkis, but imagine instead of Snoke, which is just like an alien that looks like a scrotum, basically, we have this elderly Sith master as the main villain, and the master of Kylo Ren. It's just like, that's for me, like, it's a no-brainer. It's just like, that's just amazing. And the fight is just so beautiful. The fight also reminded me a lot, like, kind of in episode 4, where it's kind of more like strike to kill and not big flashy fight, which is just, I love this type of fight. And the lightsaber is just, I also love that we get different lightsabers, like the samurai style lightsaber is epic. I want one of those. Disney, get me one of those. I want one of those lightsabers. Make them. These are epic. We should have got definitely like a lightsaber samurai in the sequels. We should have at least got one, but that episode was just so great and interesting, and it kept on with the mystery, like, you don't know, like, what kind of Sith is he? Like, that's such an interesting, like, before we all know it's a Sith, yeah, we know, but it was such a different mystery. Like, he wasn't a Sith, he was just a Dark Lord, and we haven't really gotten that before. Like, instead of Snoke, they tried to do it with Snoke, but it failed terribly. But, it's like, we got this interesting, Elder. It was just like a great episode once again. Episode 8, Lop Ochō. This was also what I felt a very story-strong episode. Is where we have Lop, this bunny creature basically in Star Wars, which I know there's a name for it, but I forgot it now. But like, there was also something interesting, like we get to see with this rabbit bunny character, or like the rabbit is correct, like Thor would say. But it was such an interesting character, and the great thing about all these episodes is like, in matter of minutes, they make me care, invested in the episode, in the characters, and in the world that they're in, and in the situation that they are in. We start off with this episode very interesting, of her running away, her family got taken prisoners, and now she's basically on her own just with her droid. And just the way, and then she finds this family of this young girl, and they accept her in her family, which I also love the father, where the daughter's like, okay, now you're in a family. It's like, damn it, Ochō, no, I have to invite her. Is this respectful otherwise? I know it's a bad impression, but it's like, it's just, I really love the dynamic between the characters in this episode are done very great. It's like when we have 7 years later, we know when they're more grown, and you have the daughter and the father, you have the Empire there, basically over pressure, and you have these two different opinions, of the father, like, no, we can't take this anymore. We have to fight. We have to get them out of our city so we can finally have peace and freedom. And the daughter's like, no, we need them because either way, people are gonna come and fight. If we have the Empire, at least we have some type of protection, and that way basically, and Lop basically being like in the middle, and you have this great family drama basically going around. Because in each way, they both are kind of right. Even, joining with the Empire is not always a great idea, but you understand their point of view, understand the motivation, you understand why this character, why she feels that way, and why she sees that way in her father, and why she thinks her father sees an old-fashioned way that is not possible to achieve. And also I love this general from the Sith, like, come on, join us, and you will pack with the dad, and I just love that he is like kind of flamboyant Imperial officer. He's just like, I love that. I also love that the animation style are really strong in here. I really love the animation style of this episode. Lop is such a great character also. She's like in this difficult position, like she has to choose like between basically, she tries to hold her family together with her father and her sister, and they both clashing with each other, but also, like not technically still feeling like she feels like part of a family, but then, get reminded, no, you're not part of this family. And this whole family dynamic that you have between the characters is just great character writing, great story writing, great just great all through. And then later when we get this beautiful ceremony when, you know, the father has with Lop, where he gives her the lightsaber and tells her that many years ago a Jedi came here and they passed on this tradition of, you know, them teaching about the Force and the way of the Jedi, and it's just done very beautifully. And I love the traditional anime and Japanese culture that we get to see in this episode. Just fits so well in Star Wars. I mean, it's just so great. I really love the cultural representation that you also get to see, like all this in every episode, all this traditional Japanese culture or Japanese culture in general, just like inserted into this world. And I just love it. I definitely want to see more of it. And then when you get the fight, it's just so great. We get to see new weapons. We get to see people fight just with swords, some people with lightsabers and swords. It's like the way they show new weapons also is great. And like what I love about this, we get again more world building, more weapons, more different droids, different types of worlds. It's like kind of this is something was missing in the sequels. Not this, we didn't get like world building in my opinion, I feel like. But I'm gonna get to the whole conclusion at the end. Lop and Ochō is also like in one of my top episodes, I would say, because there was just like a really great episodes between great characters, strong and very interesting. I really would love to see like a continuation, like a full season of it, like what's gonna happen now, because you know the sister survives. She has this ex cut in her, but like, you know, what Lop's gonna do? Is she gonna take care of her father? What's gonna continue? I really want to know what's happened next. Like Kathleen Kennedy, you sitting on a gold mine right there. So call them people and tell them make out of every episode a new season. Just go. Do that right now, and then we talk about it. But the final episode, hold on a second. Akakiri. Okay, Akakiri was also a very interesting episode. It was a different style of animation. It was also interesting to see, but we also have like another, you know, Leia inspired character, and we have this Jedi that is her friend that's kind of like going on his own, but he needs her help, so he comes back and they have to go into the city because it's been taken over by the Sith Lord, her own sister, which was also like very interesting. And we kind of get like this travel journey with him and her and these two guys who are basically Timon and Pumbaa. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's Timon and Pumbaa to the core. And I love these two like drunken guys who helped their way through it. I love them. They were funny. They were hilarious singing their drunken songs. And once again, it was so interesting, the characters. You have this Jedi that keeps having this Force vision, but he don't know what it is, and it gives him pain. Then you have the princess, you know, trying to go back to the capital, and these two lovable guys. I mean, those guys, you just want to give them a hug or something. Like these two lovable guys who are just, you know, best friends. And then when one of them goes missing, like you really feel in that short scene where you see him sitting there drinking by himself, you feel like, damn, you really feel like, damn, my best friend could die. And then when you hear him coming singing and you see the joy, it's just like so much great character writing. What I really like is like, the great thing about Star Wars Visions, like it really sets the emotions well. It's really another great written characters and great scene, you know, where it's just a simple scene of, you know, somebody thinking my best friend could die and not be alive anymore, and then having him be there and to see this joy, and then like them going on further. And they even do the same thing like in Lion King, where they dress up as the two characters and distract the guards while they run away. I was like, hey, if you're hungry and you promulgate, like you can just add that scene. And then when you have like see the sister, like first of all I thought it was a dude, because that thing is like 16 feet tall, built like The Rock, scary as hell, and like that is just like, that's a menacing villain. Like she was like, okay, damn. I was like, even to the day, like, bruh, I know you're a Jedi, but like, you see that, right? You gonna go up against that, and you have some type of inner shit going between you, like, bruh. And like, it was again that like we get this interesting twist also with it, that like this vision that this Jedi had was that he's gonna kill basically his best friend and his love, basically, without even knowing it. What was such a clever thing done by the villain, I think, to see the twist. And also this episode has Force healing. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't like Force healing. I think it's just ruins, because if you have Force healing, there's no consequence in the fight, because you can just heal and everybody can come back to life. So I don't personally like it, but the way that they use it is kind of like, I mean, yeah, it's force healing. They bring somebody back from the dead, but like it's done differently than in the Rise of Skywalker, where you have in this one it's like you have this Sith Lord brought this character back, with the two Jedi brought this one character back together to life. What was also very interesting is basically you have this. It is a mystery. Again, the Sith Lord really bring people back to life, or was it to combine power of the Force that they did? I like this episode of this, basically a Jedi struggling with this inner demon, with this vision that he has, a princess trying to take back her capital and facing her family, her sister, and you have this awesome Sith Lord that just takes over. And this is kind of like the saddest episode because it ends with him becoming the apprentice, and they basically go and take over the galaxy while she's back to life. It was a different ending than I was expecting, but it was one I actually very liked. It went very interesting. I would love to see a continued version and what happens next. Now overall, I've been talking for a while now, but Star Wars Vision is just, in my opinion, the best thing we have gotten since Mandalorian and Solo. I love Solo, it's a great movie, but this is the best thing we got. It's way better than the sequels, and I feel like a lot of those story points should have been the sequels. There's so many amazing story points you could have. Each of the story points could have been not each of them except maybe the Rock episode, but all these stories are so great. They have so much world building, character building, new Sith, new lightsaber, different droids, a whole new world on Star Wars. It's it gives us so much, everything new, but also paying tribute and respecting the things that come before. And it understands the way they Jedi are, it understands the way they Sith are, and creating new ways the Sith can be looked at and seen. It has so much great character written, great stories, interesting stories, great characters, and this, I think, and it really shows, if you give people who really know Star Wars, if you get the right tools to the right people, you'll get amazing art. If you get the right tools to the wrong people, you'll get crap. And this is kind of what happens to the sequels. And not to me, I'm not here to hate on the sequels, but you can clearly see that they had no plan. I mean, J.J. Abrams even said himself that they had no plans of making any sequels, and you can clearly see that. And what makes me most mad about the sequels is this, they didn't care at all about the Star Wars mythology, about the Star Wars franchise, if they didn't even plan out 3 movies to tell a story. And when I see something like Star Wars Visions is where you have so many stories, so many interesting characters, and easily are some interesting, I mean, once again, the 9th Jedi, that should have been the starting point of the sequels, and it would have been amazing, it would have been interesting. It's such a great perfect, and I feel unfortunately you can't change it anymore. But I still Star Wars Visions. I'm gonna give this whole season a 10 out of 10. I really wish we get to see more of Star Wars Visions, because this is really a great visual work. All the animators, all the people behind the scenes in Japan, and just really respect. You guys really made awesome Star Wars content, and I thank you for that, because the stories you tell are so interesting, are so well with the anime style. It's just beautiful animation, beautiful action, great storytelling, and it's just really to the perfection. It was really an amazing season. I really hope we get a season 2, because this is really a really great show. If you haven't seen this, please watch it, or I'm probably gonna watch it again. But thanks everybody for watching. May the Force be with you, and as always, see you next time.